you guys do as well. Cool.
Okay.
All right, so everyone, welcome. Right, we're doing like called like impossible mock conversations. I'm off camera. I apologize, but where I work in my office, like the lighting and everything is freaking funky, and I have a lot of equipment around here. I really can't show on camera, so that's usually why I'm not on video. Just FYI. But the intention really today was not about me, right? Like I really want to have like you guys and gals bring up like what are some conversations that are really hard to deal with, like this could be objections, this could be something you say that doesn't land well, the client or the prospect is like confused, or like they're the sale breaks down after that, or like you don't know how to respond to something, right? Like I've been in sales honestly not that long, maybe like 3 or 4 years, but my training development in this world is substantial, like substantial. So I know really what it looks like. I know what it takes. And you know what? So do you guys and Coach, right? Like we could definitely collaborate here, right? Help each other out. So this is really designed to be like an open forum. Just kind of say like, maybe we're gonna mock some conversations. If you want, I'll mock with you if you want to, or someone else. Just kind of role play like kind of like what you're dealing with, what you hear, any objections or anything you have no idea like how to respond to. Let's get it up in the court. Let's talk about it and let's have a breakthrough in it. Okay. Cool. So
Cool.
everyone has permission to unmute themselves. So if everyone can, please mute yourself. And what we'll do is this is what really works in Zoom. I will please raise your electronic hands and then I'll call on you, right? And then you'll go. It just works really well this way, okay? So I'm taking off access for you to unmute yourself. Okay, so everyone's mute. Okay, so who would like to go first? And please raise your electronic hand in Zoom. Okay, just makes it so easy and so efficient to manage. So I'll wait for someone's electronic hand and just open up the floor. What's something you hear in one of your mocks, on one of your sales calls that like you just have no idea like how to respond to it or what to say, or you have an objection that just is reoccurring and you have no idea how to answer it. What would it be for you guys? All right, Shelly, get the party started. What do you got?
So let's say in the training with Cole, we're told to say, and it makes sense to say, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
And let's say you've got this great flow going and you say, can I ask you a personal question? And what if they say no, or if they say, why are you asking if you can ask me a personal, like, what if that, what if somebody says no?
Yeah. That's so great, right? And I love what you were saying, right? It's like, so let me kind of recreate you, right? So you're having a conversation with someone and it sounds like it's going really well, right? Like you have rapport, you're asking them questions about their life, about their business, right? And what they're doing. And then all of a sudden, because of the script says this, right? You now will say, hey, can I ask you a personal question? Which it sounds like for you, Shelly, could sound a little weird considering your rapport already.
And I haven't,
right?
And I haven't come across that, but I could see that.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah. I absolutely do. Totally. So yeah, great question. Okay. So what I'm about to say is not coming from RCA scripts. Let's just be honest. Okay. Because I want to be very clear about that. Okay. I got in the pipeline in 2 weeks of being here. And honestly, I didn't read the scripts at all. I'm just being honest with you guys, okay? So I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying that's what I did because of my extensive training and development already, right? I was able to like do it kind of on my own because I know the process, right? Now, for what you said, Shelly, here's what I would say right about that. So if you're talking to someone, right, and you have like great rapport with them, I'm like, Shelly, like, so let's actually have a conversation. Let's mock this, okay? All right, so if you can unmute yourself, all right, because mocking is where all the action is in performance. Okay.
Yep.
So Shelly, so what brings you here looking into working for RCA?
Oh, I'm just looking for something that I can have a little bit more independence, flexibility, control of my own destiny.
Got it. Wow. So are you currently not in control of your life and your destiny?
It doesn't feel like it. Sitting in my office from 9 to 5. I mean, yeah, I get a month off every year here, like in terms of spaced out, but it's a lot to have to go in every day, and I don't get to pick and choose what I'm working on.
Oh, okay. Got it. So what I'm hearing you say is that it sounds like you're kind of like in a box, right? You're kind of stuck and working a 9 to 5. You have to go there and you have to work there. You don't even pick the things you're working on. So you don't sound that excited about it. And it sounds like you kind of like hit a tipping point in your life, you're like, you know what, maybe it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's about where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, are you like, and just so you know, I mean, the way you're being on the phone with me right now is someone who sounds like you're like kind of resigned about it. Like you're kind of indifferent about it, right? Are you
Yeah.
like, like do you bring that home with you too? Like with your family?
Hopefully not. No. But yeah, I think I do. I'm if the walls go up, I'm a little guarded because I get a little bit of
Yeah.
an attitude. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like I mean, that's a big deal, right? That's like really impactful. You're having this job that it sounds like you don't like, right? You have this job where it's a 9 to 5, it feels like a box, it feels like there's no room for growth or anything like that. And you're stuck, and it's so impactful to you that you may even take it home with you and have an attitude with your family and your kids and your husband. And I mean, is that really what you want?
No. Which is why I'm looking to
Yeah.
make a change. Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah. I mean, how is your family doing with all this? Do they support this job? Do they like you working here, or do they want something different for you?
I think everyone's good with whatever I decide, which is good.
Yeah.
Um, but I want more for all of us.
Yeah. So let me ask you, right? So what if you were working at a job or a business where you were doing something you actually enjoyed? You could actually pick what you're doing. The hours are very flexible, and you're actually looking towards and for going to work. How would your experience of life, you think, in general, especially with your family, be right now?
Well, it would start out with probably being more excited, right, at the beginning of the day, more
Hmm.
excited to jump up and
Yeah.
do your work. And I think that would carry through. I think that would carry through the day.
Yeah.
And then when someone says how's work going or how's your day, I think the feedback would probably be a little bit more of a positive spin.
Right? You'd be like, I went to work today. I did exactly what I wanted to do.
To
Right?
do.
I picked my own hours. Like, life is great.
Yeah.
Totally. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's stop there.
Okay.
Did I ask you personal questions in that conversation?
You did. You
Did they,
absolutely
did,
did.
did it seem like I was going beyond my scope? Was I like, getting into your life without like, did it feel weird at all to you, or did it feel like a natural flow?
No, it did. It felt like a natural flow.
Yeah. So right there, right, I just demonstrated to everyone here, right, what it looks like, right, what it sounds like when you're being someone who's genuinely interested in someone's life. Because honestly, I really was, right? In that
Right.
moment, Shelly for me, seriously, was like my whole world. Seriously, I was like, I'm here for her. What is she dealing with? Like, what is, going on? And, that's what mattered to me. Thanks for meeting that. And, when you're with someone like I am, now look, this is not going to be natural for everyone. Let's just be honest about it, okay? It took me years to develop this keen listening that I have for people. Okay, but when you're seriously with someone, like, and Shelly sharing about, how her job is impacting her life, like really impacting it. When she goes home and, she's probably a little upset and frustrated, right? And pissed off, whatever, whether you know it or not, like most people bring that home. I was in the Marine Corps, okay? I had friends that were drill instructors. Okay, they spent almost a whole day with recruits screaming at them, right? Yelling at them because that was their job. Now, a lot of them, when they went home, couldn't just like flip a switch, right? And like that went away. No, it like bled into their personal lives too, because you're human beings. That's what happens, right? Now, after a while, they could develop an ability to like separate the two things, right? We're like, I'm at work, I'm an a-hole, right? But when I'm home with my wife, like with Shelly, like I'm loving and I'm caring because she's my wife, right? But distinguishing those two areas is very challenging, right? So to get back to the mop, right? So me personally, I never asked that question. I never had in my entire life. I think maybe I did like training 101, but honestly, when you could be someone like I was with Shelly, right? Who was able to talk to her in a way that was all about her and her life. Like, did you all notice that? Who was that entire conversation about? Was it about me or was it about her? right? It was about her because I was authentically, and I say that word on purpose, okay? Like you have to seriously be like having no distractions. There's nothing else important to your life, seriously, in that moment besides the prospect or the client. Seriously. Now, how do you do that, right? Yeah, it takes something from you. It's challenging, right? Because what are most people doing, especially in RC right now, right? Like in the academy, right? Is you're learning scripts, right? You're watching videos. You're doing things that are taking away your attention from who you're talking to. And this is what it sounds like, seriously, right? When you are paying attention to a script or trying to memorize something to say during a call, this is seriously what it sounds like. I'm gonna mock it for you, okay? All right, Shelly, let's go again. So please come off of mute. Let's have fun with this.
Okay.
All right, Shelly. So Shelly, what brings you here to RCA?
You know, the dream of having a flexible schedule and a little more control of my career and my life.
Okay, that's great. Anything else?
Probably more fulfillment in my career.
Fulfillment. Okay. Any other areas here?
No, maybe offering more to my family,
Okay, got it.
having
So,
having the resources to do that.
okay, yeah. So resources, family. Okay, cool. All right. So, I mean, is there like any position that you want to have with us? You know, redo closing, redo setters. You know what those things even are?
Yeah, I want to be a closer.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. What's next? So, you know, I mean, how long you been in sales for?
Oh, on and off. Actually, I started in sales probably 20 years ago and then got out of it and went into more lobbying, but
Okay,
a lot of different experiences with sales.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, you know, we have a lot of guys and girls here. You know, they do pretty well. You know, they come in, they're able to, you know, like get started, and some can make, you know, 10, $15,000 a month. Some can make more. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, would that be something you'd be interested in doing?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, you mind if I ask you a personal question?
Okay. No,
Um,
actually, I don't feel comfortable with it.
all right, let's just stop there, right? So, what was different from that conversation than the first one?
Um, for me, it's the flow of it. It's the flow of the call. Because we're already connecting. And then for some people, that would be maybe a step forward.
Mhm.
Can I ask you a personal question? Okay. But for some, it might be like wait a minute, I thought we were already having a kind of a personal conversation. So
Mhm.
I think I don't know, that's how it felt a little different.
Yeah, so let's look deeper, right? So in the first example, when I was asking you all those questions about your family, right, and your kids and your husband, like, did it seem weird at all, or did you, or like, or was the experience you had was like, okay, like I have no problem answering. This guy seems like a nice guy. He's asking me about my life, what's going on, and like I have no problem answering this question. Was it
Yeah,
like that for you the first time?
because you were actually listening and
Hmm.
then the next questions were flowing with how I was answering. Yes.
Cool, awesome, right? And then the second time I was, you know, talking to you, right? Oh man, I love acting. It's great. And then especially with the stutters, right? So the second time I asked you, right? And then I said to you, and I said it a very specific way, can I ask you a personal question? Like, how now were you feeling in that moment? How were you experiencing the conversation that time? Like, how'd you feel when I asked you that question?
It gave me pause. And so what I don't know is with some people, would that be a positive pause? Because now they're taking a step closer, or with some people, that would be a pause like, what? Like, what do you
Yeah,
mean?
so I think we could agree, right? At the end of the day, it's kind of weird, right? And like we don't know if it's good or bad, you said, right? You just know
Yeah.
that it's something that sounds like it's kind of like I would honestly say, and I'm gonna ask Sydney, Daniel, Joe, and Brian if they want to chip in a second too here about this, right? Because I want all of us to participate. You know, I would even say honestly, it's like it's an interruption, right? You mentioned before, right, about having a flow. I
Hmm.
agree with you, right? Like when you listen to the way I talk, right, with clients, it is very flowy, isn't it? Like it's very natural, it's very seamless. How I go from one place to another. It's very seamless, right? That's
Yes.
design. I did that on purpose. It's designed that way, right?
Hmm.
But when you're like talking to someone and all of a sudden you're like, so you might have to ask you a personal question. I mean, to me, honestly, it sounds like, yeah, like it's well, one, it's weird, and two, it seems like we're now like changing the conversation as opposed to like continuing or extending what we've been doing already, which is me getting to know you and what
Hmm.
matters to you, right? And what's important to you and what you're looking for. Because ultimately, right, in sales, everything that I'm asking you, right, is for a reason, right? I really want to see like what's there for you, like what motivates you, right? What inspires you? Because at the back end of every sales call, that's what you're selling to. You're selling to all those benefits that they said. They want to be making a lot of money, right? They want to have a new house. They want to have more, like for you, right? It was time. It was making your own schedule. Imagine if you now have that, right? And you're listening to it. When you go to close them, it's like piece of cake. All you have to do now is just take whatever they said because you cared enough about them to ask those questions, right? And get deep enough with them because you actually authentically care about them. And you say, well, look, Shelly, you know, what if you really had the possibility of like working a job where you made your own hours? You can make as much money as you want. Yeah, no cap. I have friends that have been working here, they're making from 20 to $60,000 a month. What would that be like for you to make $50,000 a month for your family?
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, right.
Right. And then like, so if you're selling like that, I mean, it's kind of like silly, right? Like to say no, like who would say no to that? If you're telling them, hey, this will give you exactly what you want. How do I know? Because you told me.
Right.
And
I
I'm
told
like,
you what I
wait,
need. Yep.
right? And I'm just fulfilling the need. Now, in a lot of sales programs, they call like pain and problem. I don't like that crap because the methodology I'm part of, that's very disempowering for people. So I personally don't like that, right? I'm all about, I'm discovering like what's important to you. Okay. I'm discovering what you like. I'm discovering like what, like, a year from now, if you had a say in how your life went, Shelly, like how it'll look. And I would even ask that question, right? And you can see something like,
Yes.
I'm gonna have like for me, I'll tell you me personally, right? For me in a year from now, me and my wife in California, it's very expensive out here. I want to be making at least, 50, 80 grand a month easily, right? That's like my goal for closing. So we're gonna have like a really nice multi-million-dollar house, probably by the beach. I'm gonna have a huge yard for my dog because he loves to run around. My wife needs a bigger house so she can have an office and I could have an office, and she has a bed and I have a bed because, we're like hitting each other in the bed and all this kind of craziness, just having room. But that's what my future looks like, right? And if you're like actually authentically listening to when I say that to you, if you're trying to close me, right? And you really get that, when you're then trying to seal the deal at the end, you're like, look, Alex, or like, I'll be like, hey, Shelly, listen, I got what you said, Shelly. You said that what's really important to you, right, is you make enough money to give your family and your two kids the life, the life that they need, right? Get them whatever they want. There's no restrictions. You want to go to Disneyland, you go to Disneyland. You want to go to Greece, you go to Greece, right? Like you actually could be in charge of your life, right? And that's what you want. You want the flexibility to like be able to like take off of work for a week, right? Because you want to go traveling. You want to like
Yes.
hang out with your friends you haven't seen in 20 years, you mentioned before. Like, oh my God, if I didn't see my friends for that long, I'd be pissed off too. These are like my best friends, right? And like I get it. And like, I know people, who literally just like you came in within a couple months, they worked hard, they grinded, and now they're doing very well. They work maybe 5 hours a week. They're making 5 figures a month. And I know it's available. So listen, Shelly, I would love to get you on board, get you part of my team, and let's get you into that new house. Let's get you into a future where you're going to Disneyland with your kids whenever you want, because you deserve that. You're a badass. Like you work your ass off, but you work in a place where like no one respects you. You're in a box, you're stuck, and there's nothing you could do right now. But that's just how it's been going, right? There's something else out there for you that's available. All you have to do is just be courageous enough to check it out. So do you want to get the ball rolling here? Go over the tuition, how everything works, and we'll see if you're ready for this opportunity.
Yes, I'm ready.
Fantastic. Let's go. All right, we'll stop there. All right, so okay. I'm gonna open the floor now. So anyone else, please chime in, because I said I want to be talking. I talk a lot, so please tell me to shut up. If I'm talking too much, tell me to shut up. Seriously. Okay, so everyone could unmute themselves. So please, if you want to unmute yourself real quick and like tell me what you heard or what you got or what you think about this whole thing about asking for permission for personal questions. Anything we went over. Seriously, anything. Daniel, go ahead.
Yeah, what I heard was actually you paint the positive and the negative all in the flow, and at the end, after you painted the feeling of uncomfort, you pitched the good one more time, and then you pulled the close. I mean, so you know I actually saw the hell and the heaven island as it says on the scripts or the training, but it's all seamless. You know what I mean? It makes you want to push out of that negative.
Totally right.
That's what I saw.
Very good. Awesome, thank you. Brian?
I think what I saw or understood was there was the difference between what you're doing and what I'm learning through RCA is where I get confused with RCA is that, they want you to dig into the pain, and it almost feels like I'm interrogating people rather than having a conversation with them. Yeah. And what I'm seeing with the way you're displaying it is it's a conversation, but you're having the client explain the pain instead of me ask the questions, which is a paradigm shift. You know what I mean? Where they're answering their own problem. People will talk to you if you allow them to talk to you.
Yep.
So instead of, their guards will come down, so yeah, kudos to you, the way you explained that.
Yeah, very good.
I guess just
go ahead, Sydney. Sorry, go ahead.
Just to piggyback off of him, kind of like what he said, it's more of like the therapeutic kind of questions where it's like, oh, I'm just feeling really bad about my job. What do you mean by that? And then like it just kind of gives them that chance to elaborate. So it's like you're getting that personal question without having to ask them like, hey, can I ask you a personal question? So I definitely do like that approach a lot.
Yeah, thank you. And I just muted myself. That's fine. So yeah, and let me ask you all a question, okay? And this is for everyone. How would you characterize me? Like my voice, my tone, who I was being with her, if you had to characterize it with like, an adjective like friendly, loving, caring, supporting, asshole-ish, bullshitter, like whatever, right? Like, what did you all hear that who I was when I was engaging with Shelly? Like, like the time that we actually worked. Like, what would you say was my way of being? What would you say like I was committed to in that conversation with her? What do you think I care about in the conversation with her? I'm just curious what you all got from that. So if you want to share, please raise your hand. Daniel, go ahead. You're unmuted. Okay, go ahead, Daniel.
It's a tone of pleasant. I don't want to say pleasantries, but a pleasant tone where it's like it opens up for them to open up to you and actually even vent or
yeah, totally right.
To come out and really display where they're at. Yeah, that's what I felt.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Like, what I'm asking, right, is like, so when I say who is being, so my methodology that I was trained developed in it's called the world of ontology. And if you don't know what that means, it's okay. Ontology is the science of being. Okay, you could look this up later if you want to. And there's a lot of philosophers and people that have also been in this discipline. Okay, the reason why I personally chose it 5 years ago is because when you're looking at how people are in life, right? You're looking at how people perform, because we are all performers, right? What do I mean by performing? We're in a conversation to sell someone something, right? It's a performance. It is, right? And we're selling high performance packages, right? To get you to perform at a higher, more effective level. And what I got and what I really learned in the very beginning was that, wow, this work is really powerful. Why? Because who you're being in a conversation with someone else, another human being, okay, speaks louder than the words coming out of your mouth. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second and let you soak that in. Okay, who you're being on the call. Just consider, you don't have to believe me, but like just try it on. Okay, try it on for this conversation. You can let it go when we're done. But just consider, right, that who you're being. What does that mean, right? You're being friendly, you're being loving, you're being compassionate, right? Those are all things I was being with Shelly, right? I was being loving with her. I was being considerate. I was being compassionate. I was like, oh my God, that's horrible, right? Compassionate. I was being interested in her life, right? All those ways of being, by the way, I generated on purpose because they're effective in sales, right? It wasn't an accident. It was on purpose, right? And what I'm telling you all, and this is seriously what I want everyone to really get, okay, is that when you really for yourself can take on generating, and you can, I'll explain how in a few minutes, okay? When you take on generating yourself as a way of being like that, like loving, caring, compassionate, right, interested, what naturally then comes out of your mouth is something that is consistent with that. So what I mean is there's a reason I never did the script once in RCA and I'm already in the closing pipeline, because you don't need a script really if you know what you're doing, right? Because when I'm engaging with Shelly, all that matters is her and her life. Like seriously, that's it. I don't have an agenda. I'm not trying to manipulate her. I'm not trying to get to a certain question. I'm really not, seriously. My intention, we'll call it that, is look, I'm a closer for a company, right? That's looking for people that want to be very successful setters and closers, right? That's like the intention, right? And I created that with Shelly when we first started talking, right? We didn't say that on this call, right? But on your calls, you create the intention, right? Like super fast. I had a call with someone this morning, right, about creating a call from nothing. And it was a setter call. And he started out, thanks, Doug. And he was talking about how, he starts a call like this. So Shelly, let's mock again and we're gonna laugh because this is hilarious. Are you ready? So imagine like you just watched the video on Cole Gordon, right? Like last night, and that's it. And I'm gonna call you right now. We don't have an appointment. I'm just gonna call you on your phone because you give me your phone number. And this is how he said it should go, okay? And I'm not gonna say his name because I respect his privacy, okay? All right, ring, ring.
Hi, hello.
Hi, is this Shelly?
Yes,
Hi, it's Alex. How are you?
good, thank you.
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing well?
Cool. You having a good day?
Yes.
Let's just stop there. How are you feeling right now about this call?
Well, yeah, I don't trust you enough to answer these questions.
Of course not, right? Like,
Right.
it's even if you're listening to Shelly, it was actually very obvious, wasn't that she was like confused, concerned, right? Maybe a little like anxious, like who the hell is this guy calling me right now, right?
Right.
Right? Yeah, totally. So that's what he did, and I literally like I was just like stop right now, like whoa, that does not work, okay? So I'm like, look, here's the way you could do it that does work, okay? So let's do this again. All right, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Shelly?
Yes.
Hey, this is Alex from RCA. I'm part of Cole Gordon's team. I believe you watched one of our videos last night.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Awesome. And I see that you put that you may be interested in pursuing maybe a career with us, like being a setter or a closer. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm curious as to what it is, what you offer.
Gotcha. So you have an interest in it, but like you're not sure yet if it's something you want to do. Is that right?
Exactly.
Perfect. Great. So look, the intention of this call, okay, is that I'm going to kind of get more information about you, kind of see what you're up to in life, like what you're dealing with, what you're looking for. I'll give you some more information about what we do here, right? Like what setters are, what closers are, and then we'll see if it's a good fit. And if it is, I would love to hook you up with my boy Doug here. He's going to give you more information about how, like if you want to get it, like how the pricing works and how the academy works, the whole nine. And you know what? If it's something you want to do, then you'll have the opportunity. So do you have about 15 minutes right now to have a quick conversation? Is that okay?
Yeah, I could make that work. Sure.
Great. Fantastic. Right there. So what was the difference, everybody? So Shelly, I'll ask you first. So everyone, right? What'd you hear, right? And how the first conversation was, right? Relative to the first one in paid focus here on Shelly's experience of the call. Shelly's experience of me, right? What was the difference? Okay, so Shelly, how was it for you one to the other?
You actually tried to relate to me on a normal human level.
So say more about that. That's a little conceptual.
So you actually connected. You said who you are, gave me your
There you
name,
go.
said who
Mhm.
you're with. I mean, then I had a level of trust of, oh, now I understand who this is. And then
Okay.
you
Mhm.
went from there.
Yeah, so right, well, and I'll say what you said another way, right? For sure, is that like I was interested, right, in having you know who I was, right, what the call was about, how long it would take, and I even asked you permission. Hey, is it okay if we talk for about 15 minutes? Does that work for you? And notice
Yeah.
that by me being that way with her, right, gave her the experience of being related, right, being connected, being someone that she wouldn't mind and actually probably look forward to talking to for 15 minutes, right? Because
Right.
I had her best interest. You want to get this, not mine. I had her best interest at mind. Let's see if this is a good fit for you. Let's see if it's something you're interested in. Do you have 15 minutes? You notice it's
Yep.
all about her.
And you
Everything.
said, let's find out where you're at. You
There
know,
you go. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
find out where we're at, right? Who would,
Yeah.
and once again, who is that about?
me.
You. So I'm hoping everyone's hearing a recurring theme here, right? In every part of the mock, right, that we do, or that I do specifically, right, because I'm kind of leading this conversation, it's always about the client, always. Like, seriously, like, maybe, like, I mean, right? I mean, in sales, they say, right, like 80% of the time should be the client talking, right? It's really the same thing here, too. Now, 20%, right, is probably me asking questions, and I'm sharing something about my life with a client so I could be vulnerable and have that human connection like Shelly mentioned, or I'm sharing about the job. Like, let's say she says that she's a closer, like she's a badass closer, right? I might share with her one of my buddies or friends who is a closer so she can get related to and see what it could look like for her, right? It's something that she wants to do. Okay, so other people besides Shelly, I think Shelly, you're awesome. What else did everyone hear? What did you hear? What did you notice about it? Like, what did you discover about yourself or your sales approach, or even like maybe your introduction that maybe now is weird because you kind of heard the difference of the two. So anyone want to share anything? Please raise your hand. Daniel, go for it, man.
Man, so I'm gonna be honest, man. I haven't done one mock call yet, right? And I've been practicing all of this because I've been afraid to jump in the pond, right? But I heard the scripted guy that comes in and is going through the script, and I heard the genuine person with an interest of the person on the other line of the call to open up the field to draw out all of the things you need to know to qualify someone as far as if the program even works or if they have genuine interest, because anybody can go through the internet and leave an address, but are they qualified? Do they have a story that we can help with?
Yeah, totally. Great job. Anyone else? Thank you, Daniel. All right. So yeah, right. So one thing, and then we're going to move on to another concern here, because I do want to go over a couple more objections here. So yeah, right. So look, at the end of the day, right, seriously, when you could be being someone, right, who is loving, who is compassionate, who is empathetic, right, who is like genuinely interested in your client, in your prospect, whatever, right, in their actual life, I am telling you for a fact, because I'm living proof, right, your performance will skyrocket. Seriously, because you'll now be someone who people trust, and people only buy from people they like, people that are their friends, right? If you're a stranger talking like, all right, Shelly, so we'll see what we can do here for you. So I got an appointment on Friday at 4 or 6. What works for you? When you're like that with someone, they're like, I don't trust this person. And here's even the worst part, okay? And I tell everyone on mocks this because it's really important to get for everybody, even me, right? When you are doing your thing, whether it's setting or closing, literally, even like living your life, it doesn't matter, right? Like I was a Marine Corps recruiter, and this is where I first heard this from, right? When you are setting, when you are closing for anyone, let's just say RCA to keep it simple, you really want to get this in that conversation with that person. You are RCA. You're Cole. You really have to get that. Okay, because this is why. Because if you're being someone who's disinterested, you're being selfish, you're being manipulative, you're being whatever, cocky, arrogant, whatever negative, nasty thing you want to say you're being, which a lot of people are, especially on these calls, by the way. I've mocked like almost 35 calls this point with people. Now, I'm not saying anyone's a bad person. Okay, no one is. I'm not saying that. What I'm telling you is that who they're being with me on a mock is like this. All right, Alex, so I need you to, go home, watch a 10-minute video, okay? Be ready for tomorrow. Okay, make sure you're not late, okay? Chris's time is very important, okay? Make sure you're there. Make sure you're on time, okay? I need you to do that, okay? When you're someone like that with people, I don't know about you all, but I'd be like, F you. I ain't doing shit. Seriously, I mean, look, listen, if you don't know me at all, I'm very raw, okay? I'm the realest person you'll meet in your life, like seriously. Because that's what's required, FYI. If you want to be like an insane performer in life, I'm not kidding you. You need to become someone that's comfortable. Yeah, it's hard at first. It really was. Someone who's comfortable being authentic with people, like calling them out. I mean, seriously, look, you guys see me in the chats. Like, I'm raw with people. Now, if you actually look at what I say, I never insult anybody, ever, ever. And I never will. Because who I am is someone who empowers people. I am someone who supports people. When someone tells me they're going to do something, like be on a call on time, and they're not, I will call them out. Why? Because that's a lack of integrity on their part. If I have a lack of integrity, call me out too. Someone actually did recently. I was like, wow, shit, I'm sorry, bro. I fucked up. That's my lack of integrity. Like, can we reschedule the call? That's seriously what I said to that person. I was responsible for my own integrity. Most people consider are not. They're not. What do? Oh, it was my kids, right? Oh, my internet went down. It's some excuse, some justification, something, you really want to get this, something that robs you of your power in life. Because, hey, if you're not the one in charge of your life and your kids are, or your internet is, then how the hell is life going to become the way you want it to? If you could justify everything, always. Seriously, think about it, right? Think about how many things you don't do or you don't fulfill on that you promise people, and what do? Right? Listen, now we all do. I do it too. We all do it. This is a human being thing, by the way, okay? If you're not special, you're really not. I'm not special either, okay? But we all do it, right? We justify everything until we die, we'll justify it. Why I never had my own business? Because what? Literally, that word, by the way, is like nasty. Seriously, if you seriously took on taking the word because out of your vocabulary, holy crap, would your life change? Because then, right, when something happens to you, or you promise something to someone and they say, hey, what happened? Well, what do you say? Like, what can you say? You're like, shit. Like, my bad. Like, I told you I'd be there. I wasn't. Fuck, dude, I'm sorry. Like you would now have to say that because you no longer could justify it, right? With a because. Yeah, language is very important, right? That word is really nasty. You know what else is really nasty too? Is the word but. I'm going off topic, but this is really important, okay? The word but, okay, is also very disempowering. Let me give you an example, right? If I say to you, Shelly, here, let's mock real quick. Let's make this fun. So Shelly, right? So what's something in your life that's really important to you that you have not accomplished yet? Could be anything.
I just said, I shouldn't say that either. Financial freedom to be able to plan my retirement, have it clear.
Okay. Good. And why haven't you figured that out yet or solved out your financial future? Because
I haven't made it a priority.
Okay.
And I haven't seen a clear path.
Okay, got it, right? So the reason in reality why you have not yet fulfilled upon the promise you made to yourself, right, of having your future set up financially or having a plan for it is because a reason, because you just haven't made time for it, right? Or you don't know what it looks like yet, right? Or it's not clear, right? Not a problem. But what does that say though, right? As long as that because is there, you will never then fulfill on that promise ever, right? Because whenever you try to do it and you fail to do it, what are you going to say to yourself? Oh, yeah, it's not clear. Oh, yeah, da da da. And that will live there forever until you seriously die, right?
Yeah, it means I'm giving myself a continual excuse.
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, let's make this fun, right? Who else in this Zoom call here hears something in their life that they're like, shit, I do this all the time. I always say because something all the time. And I see, wow, I will never actually achieve that thing. Because as far as I'm concerned, I have the most brilliant, creative, justified, valid reason and excuse why it's never going to happen. Anyone want to share? Come on, you guys got to participate. Seriously, if you want this to actually impact you in your actual life, and yes, Doug, it's being recorded. I got you, man. No problem. Yeah, I'm watching Doug. He's on video. He's cool. Okay, so look, seriously, like in your lives, right? Just consider that honestly, and listen, remember, I'm part of this because I'm also a human being, okay? We all do this stuff. Seriously, we justify and reason our life away. Like, think about it. I'm 35, right? There are things I have not done in life yet. I really haven't, right? And I could easily answer why with one word, because blah, 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 blah. Everything, right? It's not hard. But as long as I live that way, those results will never, ever, I don't care how smart, savvy, rich you are. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. As long as you justify your life away, those things will never, ever happen, period. And you want to really get that because you live life like it will, like in some fantasy future tomorrow, where all of a sudden now, Shelly's going to just figure out how to plan her future and do it. Life doesn't work that way. She either does something right now today to deal with that, like get a financial planner, or like go Google a video or something, right? Unless she takes an action, okay, this is what you want to get. Unless you take an action in something you promise, just consider it's never, seriously, ever going to happen. And you want to really get that because seriously, we live in a world where people believe that tomorrow is real. You want me to just prove that right now? It's so simple. Shelly, so when do you think you're going to have this sorted out? How long? How far away in the future?
Well, since I've already started talking to a couple people, I think I could set a deadline of a week.
Okay, so according to you, right, in 1 week from now, you're saying you're going to be set with this, right? It's going to be taken care of. It's done. Da da.
I'm gonna have a plan.
You're going to have a plan. Okay.
Yes.
So here's what happens, right? Is that people declare something like that. Like they'll say in a week from now, I'm going to have a plan, right? And they keep saying it to themselves. Here's the breakdown though. As long as you keep saying that it's going to happen in a week, what do you right now, today, I'm talking to you in this moment, now can avoid being responsible for if it's going to happen a week from now?
Yeah, I just gave myself a whole week, and instead of saying I'm going to sit down right now and quickly didn't just do it.
Yeah, and guess what? We human beings love words so much. We even made a word for what that experience of life is, right? We call it procrastination. Right? That's what we call it. We even have a word for it. It is so prevalent in our society, right? As a race, seriously, everyone does this, right? And that's what happens, right? And like I said, I'm saying you, but seriously, I mean all of us, even me, okay? We're all guilty of this because we're all human beings, right? This is a human being thing, is that we all get away with murder in our lives because we either justify it all away or we tell someone, yeah, I'll do that later. I'll do it tomorrow. And then what do we do? What is like the next natural thing we do? You know what I've done historically? My wife's like, hey, Alex, can you do the dishes? I'm like, yeah, I'll do them in an hour. What do I then do right away? Like go watch TV or like go play with my dog, right? Anything besides doing what I said I would do. Because I want to deal with that shit. You know, here's the thing. You don't want to deal with it right now. like now. So you say you'll deal with it later. Now, Shelly, though, had a little extra step here, which is great, right? She didn't just say that like some bullshit promise. She said, hey, I already have a couple appointments set with some people that do this already, right? Like she actually in existence, in reality, did an action, right? Once again, without action, there's no performance, right? She did an action now to align with that was consistent with what she said she would do, which was, she hired or she's talking to 2 people and they're going to help her out. Hey, listen, that's someone who actually has integrity with their words, sounds like, right? They don't just speak bullshit. They say, hey, Alex, I'm going to have this done by this time. In order to get that done, I'm going to spend 1 hour a day working on it from 10 to 11 a.m. Right? When you say something like that to someone else, aren't you like more believable now? Like you're actually going to do it because you have a plan, and not like I'm going to get done in a week, but like every day, 10 to 11 a.m. I'm working on this. I'll text you every time I'm done, give you status updates. Wouldn't you trust someone more like that? Because they're actually telling you something in reality. Like you could actually see them doing it. You could hear them talking about it. They're texting you, right? It's real. But most human beings don't live that way. They don't. Because it's much easier to just lie to yourself and get people off your back. Like, Brian, get off my back, man. How about done a week? Leave me the fuck alone. Right? Shelly, you too, right? Like, we all do it, And like, look, there's nothing wrong. Listen, anything I've said here, seriously, I want you guys all to get, and girls, there's nothing wrong with any of this, okay? If you're doing it already, seriously, like I'm dead serious. There's nothing wrong with it. Why? Because you're a human freaking being. Seriously, we all of us do this. All of us, even me, everybody. Now, what is there to do, right? It's just to be responsible with it now, right? Now, when you promise something to someone, don't just make up some nasty random crap. Actually have integrity with it. Be like, hey, you know what, Alex, Shelly, whatever, I'll have this done in a week, okay? And here's what I'm going to do in the week now to ensure it gets done. And I promise all of you, when you start speaking that way to people, especially prospects, right? Like you might tell a prospect, hey, Shelly, I know you had some questions that I couldn't answer for you, right? And look, I really want to support you and you coming on board because you're amazing. And I would love to work with you. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to text Chris right now. Give me a second. I'm going to give him the questions you had. Okay. He'll get back to you within 24 hours and I will email them back to you before your meeting with him. Okay. Is this your email address? Yes, it is. Great. Okay. You'll have this in your inbox before 10 a.m. tomorrow. Okay. I'll have all the answers you need. And if you need anything else from me, Shelly, okay, we're messaging each other on Messenger. You send me a message. I promise I'll get back to you within an hour. I'm like crazy fast in those things. Okay. Because I got your back. Care about you. I want you to do well here and you're going to be great. Okay. And if anything comes up from now on to then, okay, just send me a message because rescheduling is not a problem. Just please respect me and my time like I respect you and your time. And hey, I have a good feeling about this. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Now, Shelly, for you, right? I was kind of mocking myself, but how is the experience though of you? Like, how much did you really believe that I would get back to you and have Chris answer those questions for you tomorrow at 10 a.m.?
Oh, complete and total faith that not only are you going to do those things, but the organization is probably run in a similar manner.
Good for you. Yeah, that's great. I didn't even think about that. That's fantastic, right? Because
Yeah.
who am I? Because who am I again?
A representative.
I am of what?
Of that company. So you are RCA.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Totally, right? Now, let me ask you. Now, listen, here's what you guys want to listen to, okay? Now, Shelly, what had you, though, convinced, though? Like, what did I say to you that actually had you convinced that I would actually do those things? Like, what did I specifically tell you?
You, at one point, said you were doing something at that point. I'm texting Chris right now. Like you were actually already taking action on my behalf.
There you go. So I was taking action, right? I was doing things in reality. Like when I say reality, I mean like the real world, right? Something I could watch you doing. I can hear you saying, right? I can feel you doing whatever. Okay, that one's a little weird actually. What I say seeing and doing, right? But like, but it's something real, right? It's not just like now. Imagine if I was like this instead, right, Shelly? So let's talk. All right, Shelly. So look, I know you have a couple questions. Okay, so look, I'll send them over to Chris. He'll get back to you when he can, and we'll get you ready for tomorrow. Okay. Now, how is that experience in terms of reliability and trust relative to how I said it before? What's the difference? And what was missing this time?
So I'm having to have more faith that
Mm,
you are going to do something. You haven't already started it.
got it.
It
So
leaves a
it's that,
little bit of me hoping you do
oh,
something,
that's
right?
good. That's really good, isn't it? Because check it out. I'm now leaving you with the call because we're finishing that call, right? I now just left you with an experience, Shelly, of uncertainty
Mm-hmm.
about RCA.
Exactly. Yep.
So let me ask you a question, right? And this is for the setters out there, right? Listen to this call. Imagine if you set people like that. How likely do you think now they're going to want to close? If who you are is RCA, right, Doug, right? And RCA is someone who has them be uncertain about their future with you. Do you think they're going to highly convert over when they speak to you? Do you think they're going to be willing, like very open and vulnerable when they're talking to you? Or do you think they're going to be a little more like, closed off, a little reserved, not sure what's going on? Especially if Chris never gets back to you, right? You'll be like, wow, these guys can't trust him at all.
There's more excitement on the call when you're already taking action.
Totally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we only spent time on like one objection. I apologize for that, but we had a lot of great tangents here. I think that were very valuable for a lot of people. So this is the last thing. Okay, we're gonna end the call in here. Okay, we got 3 minutes left. So look, okay, one thing I told like Brandon and Chris is like, look, like when I get hired as a closer, I would like the opportunity to train my own setters, and this is why. Okay, so seriously, listen to this. This is like gold right here. Seriously, okay. If you're setting, okay, and your prospects, like your people you're talking to, seriously, are not excited, they're not looking forward to talking to the closer, you're not doing a good job. You're really not. And you're really setting your closer up for failure because now he has to talk to someone who's like you, little anxiety, or maybe a little nervous, unsure. Like, do you seriously want that crap? I'm gonna say that word very specifically. Do you want that kind of a person, human being, on the phone with you, and you're like excited, you're ready to close them, and that's how they are? Is that really what you want on the phone with you?
Right.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, so the setter's the opening act. I'm coming in there, rile you up at a concert, right? Get you excited, get you in the mood to hear the show, and then the closer's coming in, closing the show, and bang.
Yeah, you got it, man. Totally right. It's seriously, I mean, look, like I said, I didn't read the script, so I don't know how RCA does it. I can't speak about that. Thanks, Brian. But all I know is what works because I do it in my actual life. I know this stuff works, right? I'm talking from experience. And listen, guys, like, look, I work in debt settlement. Okay. It is one of like the hardest industries to sell it. Why? Because I am selling something to someone who does not want it. I'm telling them to stop paying their credit cards, to get creditor calls, to destroy their credit score. Imagine you selling that to someone and being excited about it, right? Good luck, right? For the most part. But look though, listen, I bring this to my calls, okay? I bring literally every day, I bring being loving with them, right? Being fun, being compassionate. A lot of them seriously are broke. They have no money. And by the way, it's 1 o'clock. So if you have to go, you can get off. I can stay 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I've got to
Yeah.
jump off.
Thanks, Shelly. Take care.
But this was
Great.
awesome, Alex. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. Take care. And if anyone else has to leave, please get off. No problem at all. We are recording this. No problem. Okay. So look, your job. Let's see. Doug. I have no idea even what they say. The only thing I know about them is when I've mocked with people and they've mocked the script to me, I've heard the script. But seriously, like listen, I'm serious, guys. Look, I'm not saying do what I'm doing. Okay, listen, I am not an RCA coach. Okay, I'm not Cole. Listen, seriously, don't do what I do. Okay, I'm just saying, in my experience, okay, I've had enough training development already to know kind of what it sounds like, right? Already, I do. And obviously, RCA agreed because they put me in the pipeline, right? Let's just be real about it, okay? So obviously, I know something, right? I'm being effective in some way, right? But look, what I'm saying is this simply, okay? If you're a setter, seriously, your job should be to set them up in a way they're seriously, they're excited. Like they're looking forward to that call. Like, right, if Chris is my freaking guy, if he's the closer and I'm the setter, I want Chris to have like the most qualified, right? I've already checked them financially. They're excited. Like they're like, holy shit, this is gonna change my mother, life. Like I want them to be like that. And look, it's possible. How do I know that? I talk to people who are broke all day long. When they leave the call with me, they're laughing. They're excited to not pay their freaking credit cards anymore. Like, get that, seriously. How is that possible? Because I talk to them in a way. I be with them in a way that's like loving. I'm like, oh my God, Susan, what is it like to have no money right now? Oh, it's horrible. I can't. I'm like, yeah, like what have you not been able to do with no money? Do you have kids? Yeah, we haven't went to vacation in 5 years. Oh my God, that's terrible. Well, how much longer do you want to live that way? Well, I'm talking to you, aren't I? Yeah, damn right you are. Good, let's do something about it. Right? Well, look, I could save you $500. So Susan, look, I just got the approval back, okay? And that's like really exciting, right? I could save you 500, yeah, 500, it's like a part-time job, $500 a month right now for the next 4 years, right? That's like $24,000, right? Actually more than that. You're gonna be debt-free in 4 years. You're gonna be able to take your kids wherever the hell you want to. No one's gonna tell you to do your money right. And you're gonna have a great life. Okay, is that something you want to experience with me? That's what I say, right? And what did it say? Like, fuck yeah, of course. What do I sign, right? But like, I just want you guys to get look seriously. Look, it seriously does not. Yeah, I'm saying this. It's recorded. It does not matter what the hell you're selling. It doesn't matter. Seriously, I sell something people don't want, but they're still excited about it. They're still happy about it. Why? Because I talk to them in a way that excites them. I listen to them in a way that has them feel good about the conversation, right? They like me, they trust me, they know me. They know I authentically, not bullshitting them, that I authentically, because I do actually, care about them. I really do. And they get that. Why? Because who you're being speaks louder than what you're saying. So look, here's the last thing we're gonna end here, okay? If you guys, now here's something you could do as a practice, okay? That is actually very effective, okay? To get you and to generate your own way of being, okay? Find a picture of someone you love, okay? This could be your mom, right? Your kids, your wife, husband, doesn't matter, right? And have their picture, okay, like right by your computer, or whatever you're using for these calls, okay? As you're talking to the mock or the prospect, imagine you're talking to that person, right? Like me and my mom are like my dad, right? Like we're very close. When I call my dad, I'm like, hey dad, like how you doing, man? I'm like, how's going on? Like in that tone, right? Like in that demeanor, that way of being. And just think about it, look, I'm talking to my wife right now, right? How would it be with my wife? I'm gonna be loving, right? I'm gonna be caring, understanding. If you bring those things to the call that you have, okay, I'm telling you, you don't need a script. You will just be being someone interested in their life, like authentically. You'll know what to say. Yeah, you will. You will know what to say naturally, because if they're your mom, right, and they're having a problem, do you get stumped? No, you're like, shit, mom, what's going on? Like, tell me. It's natural because you care. Think about it, right? That's it. And look, yes, you have an intention, right? They know what the hell it is, right? You're closing, you're there to close them, right? You're there to provide them something of value that will give them exactly what they said they want. And you're just showing them the pathway from where they are now to where they have to go. That's it, right? Very easy. If you're a setter, right, your job is just to get them, right? Essentially, here's what I would say. If you're a setter, I think your job should be this. Your job should be to find out what are their needs, right? Like what are the benefits that they want in their life? Usually it's something like money, right? Family, community, things like that, right? Do you want to figure those things out? How do you do that? You ask them, and then you shut up and listen. Then you also want to pre-qualify them. Yeah, you're welcome, Brian, right? You also want to pre-qualify them financially. Now look, seriously, like where I work, the setters here, they suck. I'll be right. I seriously almost chew them out every day. Like their manager I'm friends with, we have a relationship. And I'm almost chewing her out every day because I'm like, these leads fucking suck. Like, don't you train your people at all? I mean, seriously, because sometimes it gets so frustrated with her. Like, I have to get a little loud, right? I have to, because she doesn't hear me otherwise, right? So I feel a little angry with her, right? Because that's what works. But what I'm saying is, look, okay, as setters, your job should be to pre-qualify them financially. How do you do it? Real quick, right? You could say, hey, Brian, look, if this is something that you talk about with Chris and you decide you want to move forward, right? Like, do you have the financial means right now to like invest in something like this? Yes, no, I don't know, Alex. How much does it cost? Yeah, great question, right? Well, the tuition for the academy, for getting you through the coaching and you go through all the benefits, right? Features of and then long term, right? What it would actually cost you to invest, right? Here, Brian, to get that house you've always wanted, right? To get that, the new like car for your wife, to get that yard for your dog. What is that going to cost to you? It's going to have you invest either $7,000 right now, or you could break up in $1,000 payments. That's what's going to take from you to make that dream a reality. Is that something you could sort out if this is something you choose to move forward with, Brian? Yeah, right? And notice like how loving that was, right? It wasn't pressure. It wasn't weird. It was an authentic question. And the commitment inside of, like, this is for you and your future. And look, here's the very last thing. I really do have to go, okay? But look, one thing you never, ever, now this may be in the script. I don't give a shit. You could use it then, but I don't. And I'm still a badass, right? Look, you never, ever, in my experience, ever talk about money. Ever. Meaning, if they say, oh, I don't have that, or oh, I don't know if I can get it, okay, you don't interact with the money conversation. Why? Because it's not your freaking money. What do you do then? It's very simple, right? You say, hey, Brian, listen, hey, I get it, man. I get times are tough. We got the pandemic right now, read the stock market's going crapper the last week or two. Listen, I get it, man. But look, here's my question for you, okay, Brian? If you knew for a fact that this would give you what you want, right? Get you that house, get you that new job, get you the flexibility of hours that you said that you wanted, Brian, do you think you could figure out a way somehow to get that money, to have that type of life? Notice the difference? And also, who is that about right now? Was that about me trying to get money out of him? Or is it about him fulfilling on the future he said that he wanted? Right? Okay, and we'll end there. All right, hey, everyone, thanks for being here. It was fantastic. I will post this on the event page, the recording, in about half an hour or so. But hey, I'm looking to do this every week, okay? Every week at around 12 is a good slot for me. As long as I'm working, we can do it. So as of right now, next week should be good. Okay, but I'll create an event on the Facebook group as well. Hey, love you guys. It was fantastic. Yeah, thanks, Brian.
Man,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, it's been fun. All right, guys, take care.
Thank you so much.